Joining us live now is the outgoing Environment Minister, Sussan Lee. Sussan, good to see you. Thanks for your time this morning. So we'll start off with the weekend. So Simon Birmingham yesterday, he outlined a whole range of signs the Liberal Party failed to pick up on, going as far back as the same-sex marriage debate, the NEG, and Tony Abbott's lost to Zali Steggall. What do you put it down to?
It's complex and there's a range of factors, and I don't think you can pick up on one and say this was the reason people voted us out in this seat or the other. So what to do as a party
results, and that may be down at individual booths in individual seats. But we also have to ask the people who voted against us why that was and what they would like to see from us as their leaders on the Conservative side of politics. So much of that unravelling is yet to be done. But clearly, I heard the message about women, I heard the message about climate, and I heard, as a rural member of Parliament, a message on one side of the Great Dividing Range that was completely different from the other. And I think that that's an interesting perspective to have in itself.
Yeah, so you can see that you got it wrong on climate and on women.
We needed to do better on both of those issues. And on climate, we needed to explain our position. And I actually think we did explain our position well, Pete. I just don't think people heard, or they heard another version of what they took away was not actually what we were presenting. So there could have been a failure in
just not enough. 26 to 28% in the end is just not enough. And then looking at the fact that so many people drifted to the Greens above Labor, that would suggest that even Labor's 43% isn't enough.
I think that's important. I mean, while people didn't vote for us, they certainly didn't go to the Labor Party in droves. It hasn't been a ringing endorsement of Labor at all. It's been, where can we park our vote? We're not happy. And that really is a message for all of us, because I'm a member of the Liberal Party. I'm proud of the Liberal brand. I'll carry it till the day I die. And we need to do better. But we also know that an awful lot of people did vote for us. They did support us. They are there for us. And, you know, we are the party for them. So while there are some really, really tough times and lessons to be learned, we will also look for the bright lights in this result and take our supporters forward with us. So
how do you do that? Do you become more moderate or do you become more conservative?
Well, these are words that are often ascribed. You know, it's not that straightforward. As I sit in the Liberal and National Party rooms, or let's just say the Liberal Party room, but we're not divided down the middle. We don't sit on two sides because we have either, as you say, moderate or conservative views. People have different views about a range of factors, and that's the broad church of our party, and that's actually our strength. It's challenged at this particular point in time, but it's actually our strength, because if you come from North Queensland, you bring with you a whole different set of ideas and values because you're representing your people. The same with me. I actually had a swing towards me in Western New South Wales as both a rural MP and Environment Minister. And by the way, I want to thank my people very strongly for voting for me. But on the other side of the Great Dividing Range, and that is a significant divide in Australia today, people saw things differently and they took away a different message. We can be a party that responds to everyone in this very big country.
Who do you want to lead the Liberal Party?
We'll have those discussions. We haven't had a party room meeting called, and I looked at the AEC results this morning, and there's quite a few that are still too close to call, and those are the ones that will go down to the wire. So I think rather than talking to the media about these things, important though it is to talk to the media at this time, we need to talk to each other. We need to talk to each other about how we feel and, you know, start to move forward from what has been a very bruising experience.
It seems as though Peter Dutton is a worthy front runner when it comes to the Liberal leadership. Would you be comfortable with Peter Dutton leading the party?
Peter Dutton and I came into Parliament together in 2001 and we've been good friends ever since.
And you would be comfortable with him leading the party?
Well, I'm not going to talk about leadership because what we always get asked in these interviews, Pete, is hypotheticals, and I never do respond to those.
Do you want the job?
I don't want the leadership job, but I would like to consider how I might support the leadership of the party in some way in addressing what is an incredibly difficult and important time for us. I've spoken about women in the party for a long time, and I've always wanted to see women step up, and I've always been proud of the achievements of women, particularly, by the way, in rural and regional Australia, where I come from, because we have some extraordinary examples of community leadership in women across this country. And yes, we have to do better, and I want to be part of that.
Okay, so with that said, would you like to be deputy leader of the Liberal Party?
I'm not crossing that bridge at this point in time. As I said, we haven't had that meeting, we haven't talked to each other, and there's much to discuss.
Okay, but that's not a no.
Well, it's neither.
Well, I mean, you just outlined the fact that there's a woman issue and more women need to be in these key leadership roles. So you would agree that there should be a female in the mix?
When I talk about leadership roles, I talk about leadership within the community, and I talk about responding to women's needs and being a party for women. And I think everyone has to take that lesson away. But it's not a simple, tick these things off your list and suddenly you become that party or that set of policies. I mean, women are, just like any individual voter, complex in what they want to see and what they want their parties to do for them. So it's just so important for not to assume that we already know that answer, but to ask the question and to be listening.
Okay, but a Dutton Lee ticket, do you like the sound of that?
I'm not commenting, Pete. Seriously, not commenting. I've actually got to jump in my car and drive to Canberra to pack down my office and move quite a lot of. It's a big day, and
all right. What about
discussions will be had?
No doubt about that. So just to find, should there be female quotas in the Liberal Party?
I've talked about female quotas and I've been very upfront about more females in our party, but I've also said it's a matter for the party organisation, not for us who are parliamentarians. And our party organisation, while flawed at times, is still our strength, and we will return to our party roots and ask these questions in just the same way that we'll be asking questions of the people who voted not for us this time.
Okay. Sussan Lee, really appreciate your time. I know you've got to go, but thanks for talking to us this morning.
Thank you.